Hi everybody, welcome to this pick a card reading for the week of September the 27th until October the 3rd. I'm Lou and I'm so glad you're here with me. So this week we are in Libra season and we have a full moon in Aries, okay, that's taking place on Friday, September the 29th. Now that full moon is the centerpiece of this week and it's what will be the energy we'll be engaging in. So we are actually moving into eclipse season next month in October. We begin eclipse season with the solar eclipse in Libra on October the 14th. Now the eclipse is a shifting sign. So we've just finishing a eclipse cycle in Taurus and Scorpio, and we're beginning an eclipse cycle in Aries and Libra. That started in April. We had the first Aries eclipse on April the 20th, okay, and then we're going to have its corresponding Libra eclipse next month. So this Aries full moon is not an eclipse, but it is still a moon in that eclipse cycle, okay? So it's a normal Aries eclipse, but it's still got that eclipse energy, but it's still involved in the storyline of that eclipse cycle, if that makes sense. So the Aries eclipse is about initiating something brand new, okay? So it's encouraging us to all follow our desires, to follow our dreams, to follow our hearts, to follow our own personal goals, what's really important to us, what matters to us personally. And so this full moon is helping us to realize and release any emotional baggage, anything that's blocking us from following our heart's desires, from following our path, our true path, our authentic path, okay? Aries is really encouraging us to be brave and be authentic and follow our truth. And so we'll be dealing with that eclipse energy over the next couple of years, particularly in the middle of 2024. It will become the most important. We'll talk about that in the October readings. So in the monthly readings, I'm going to go into a lot of depth about what the eclipses mean and what they mean for each zodiac sign as well. So we'll go into depth of that. But for now, this full moon is really just about tuning into yourself and tuning into your goals for your future. So as always, we have 3 piles. We have pile number 1, be spontaneous. Pile number 2, ideal course of action. And pile number 3, be gentle with yourself. So tune into the piles, take your time and feel into which card resonates with you the most. And I will see you over in that reading. I wish to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land that I'm working from today, the Kumbankia people, and recognize their continued connection to their land and their culture. I pay my respects to the elders past, present, and emerging, and I acknowledge that this is and always will be Aboriginal land. Hello there, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading for this week. You have chosen the card Be Spontaneous. This is an interesting card to feel into this week because of that Aries full moon, okay? So Aries is the energy of spontaneity because Aries is quite impulsive. So Aries represents our innate connection to ourselves and to our own personal drives and personal benefits to benefit ourselves, right? So Aries is like very egotistical in nature, very personally driven. They kind of take action without thinking, spontaneously take action to benefit themselves above everybody else is like kind of, I guess, considered a negative component of Aries, but I actually see it as a very positive component because they're self-driven, they're self-motivated, and they are authentic. So this is about authenticity and following those impulses. So this week, you may be receiving a lot of impulses, and I'm feeling that there could be this like sort of inner conflict within yourself to act on those impulses because of, like what I just said about, am I being selfish? Is this selfish for me to do this because it may not benefit everybody else? It's kind of spontaneous and it's impulsive and it may have consequences and it may require some level of risk requires some bravery, some courage, okay? But the cards are encouraging you to follow that, to follow those impulses and see how that feels. With the full moon, we're really encouraged to feel into our emotions around this. So when you're encouraged to be spontaneous, how does that feel to you? Does it feel like you're being selfish? Does it feel like you are taking risk? Is it scary? Is it exciting? So looking at your emotions around it and following your impulses this week, sorry. We have the 7 of Cups, 3 of Wands, and the Fool. Okay, so this is why you're being encouraged to be spontaneous. Really, there's a fresh new beginning, the Fool. There's new beginnings. So Aries is a very initiating energy. So it's a cardinal sign. It's the first sign in the wheel. Okay, so it is like Aries represents the new year in astrology. So and it's very new, fresh energy. We've got the Fool here, new, fresh energy. This is what's possible for you to bring into your life at this time. This newness, this new energy for you to follow some sort of new goal, new direction for yourself, but it's going to be very personal. It's not really going to involve other people because of that Aries component. So there is this need to be spontaneous because you may have a lot of options, or you may be very confused about what options to take. 7 of Cups, because maybe other people are asking something of you. They're wanting you to be or do a certain way, do a certain thing. And so there's that conflict again, like I said, around do I do what's right for me, or do I do what's right for the team, or do I do what's right for the family, or whatever. And so when you are in that spontaneous energy, that Aries impulsive energy, it helps you to sort of break out of this indecision. So the 7 of Cups can and it does feel, as I'm tuning into this for you this week, it feels stifling, because if you look at him, he doesn't know which bowl to turn over. He doesn't know which one to choose. And so he's not making any decision at all. And so we don't want to be stuck in that situation where you're not moving forward, 3 of Wands, because you are indecisive. So if you're in an indecisive situation, follow your impulses, be spontaneous, just choose an option and go with it. Just go with it. Okay? Because the 3 of Wands indicates that things are unfolding for you. Desires are coming in for you. You've sent out desires into the universe. They're being matched. This new direction is something you've asked for, something you've called in for. So the energy of the full moon, the emotional release is going to be that indecision. We have the Hierophant, the Hanged Man, and the Page of Wands. So like I said, this Hanged Man is stuck in limbo. Not making a decision, not moving forward, not taking action is going to cause you to be stuck in limbo. And you may have been in limbo for a while, pile number 1. You may have been feeling this like stuck, stagnant energy, not knowing what to do, not knowing which way to go. And so what these cards are telling you is that you are being guided. You actually are receiving guidance, and it's in the form of impulses. Page of Wands. It's in the form of sharp, sudden, desires, excitement, passions, and some sort of enthusiasm, something that's like a little bit exciting. Can just be small things, doesn't have to be a really big dream. It could just be something really little that sparks something within you, sparks a little bit of curiosity, a little bit of excitement, a little bit of, rings your bells in some way within internally, and you're being asked to act on that, take action on that, just to shift this stifled energy. Okay, it's coming from a higher place. The Hierophant, it's coming from somewhere beyond yourself. So trust that. You may be feeling like you can't trust it because it does just feel like an impulse, but you're being told to trust those impulses and take action on them. Okay, we have the 10 of Coins, the Knight of Wands, and the Nine of Coins. Wow. Okay. Very impulsive energy. Both the Page of Wands and the Knight of Wands are impulsive energy. The Knight of Wands is the card of spontaneity. He's very spontaneous. He is very driven by his desires. Okay, so he doesn't really reflect. He doesn't really use logic. He kind of just is all in on whatever feels good to him. The Knight of Wands are very much a go get it kind of energy. Go get it when it feels good. And that Three of Wands energy is coming in. Now, you can trust this because it's surrounded by the Ten of Coins and the Nine of Coins. So sometimes the Knight of Wands energy is not good, but in this situation for you this week, it is really good to follow that energy, okay? Because it is leading you towards this Ten of Coins, Nine of Coins. It's leading you towards prosperity, towards abundance, towards overflowing fullness of whatever you are calling in, whatever you're asking for. Three of Wands, okay? This is the way that you find that this week for yourself. This is the way that you draw more prosperity to you, draw more physical resources, money, wealth, riches towards you, if that's what you're calling in whatever way you're calling that in, is by following those impulses and following that spontaneity, following that energy. We have the Seven of Coins, the Chariot, and the Knight of Swords. So it's very fast energy for you this week, okay? There's a lot of things moving very quickly for you. We've got the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Wands moving fast. The Chariot involves moving fast, okay? So this is, you're moving forward. The Fool is about taking that leap of faith, taking that leap into something new. The Chariot is stepping forward into the unknown. So that's why this spontaneous energy, these Knights energies is what's required of you, is to do that without guarantee that it's going to work, okay? But it will work. The crux of it is that it will work because actually, and it may look on the surface like you are being reckless, that you are being, you're taking a big risk, but actually, Seven of Coins, you've laid the foundation, you've done the work internally, or you've done the work underneath to make this successful. Nine of Coins, Ten of Coins, to come out on top. But what is needed for you, so like you may have been working on this for a long time, and that's why you're kind of stuck, is because what's actually needed is not that work anymore, is for you to actually take the plunge. You need to take the plunge this week, pile number one. You need to, you've gotten yourself as far as you can go, and now you have to actually jump. And that's the scary bit, and that's what but that's what's required. This situation cannot move forward any further until you actually jump. Higher power. So like I said, there's this stuckness here, right? There's this stuck energy here, and you've done all the work, you've done all the physical part of it to make it a success, but there is this need to take that jump and to trust the higher powers will catch you. Trust that the universe is going to meet you halfway. So by staying stuck in this indecisive mode, by not actually just taking that risk, taking that plunge, you're actually sending an indicator out that you don't trust the universe, you don't trust the higher powers. So there is that need, and everybody faces this at points in their life where they just have to try. They just have to try, and there's no safety net for you anymore. You have done everything you can do in the safest way, and you just have to trust not only in the higher power, but trust in yourself that you've created a situation that will have your back. To the sea. Yeah, you just have to take that risk. You have to take that journey. Yeah. and trust that you have got it, that it's all under control. And exchange gifts. So there is like this exchange of energy, right, that takes place when you are whenever you're trying to create something, whenever you're trying to move forward or build momentum or whatever, there's this exchange of energy. And so when you're not willing to take that last little leap of faith, that last little risk, or be brave and courageous and take the plunge, you are sending a message to the universe, like I've already said. And that message is an energy exchange. So the universe will meet you with the same level of energy. So the longer that you stay in indecisiveness, the more that the universe will provide you reasons to not be able to decide. So the more options may come, the more that it may get convoluted and confusing and So what this whole reading is really about is that you need to stop overthinking it, stop calculating it, stop with the apprehension, the delayed. You're delaying the situation, delaying the last little bit, the last little morsel that you're required to step into to make this a reality, to make this work and make this successful. So whatever it is that you're handling, whatever it is that you're dealing with, it's time to really just trust and jump in, feet first, spontaneously, in the moment, when it feels right, when the impulse comes, when the enthusiasm is there, when the passion's there, when the excitement's there, jump. So that's your reading, pile number 1. Good luck this week. Thank you for being here with me. I really appreciate you. And thank you for subscribing to my channel. That really helps me. And feel free to comment down below about what you are involved in, what you are taking this risk on, if that feels good for you to do so. And I look forward to seeing you again next week. Take care. Hello there, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. You have chosen ideal course of action. So this week there may be a need to reflect on the path that you're taking at this time and to choose a new course of action, or to consider the direction that you wish to go in. We have that full moon in Aries, okay? And Aries is the sign that initiates, is the sign that begins a new pathway. But it's also a pathway that is uniquely yours. So it's really important to look at your own personal goals, at your own authentic goals, at what is going to be the best for you, not necessarily for everybody else, okay? Now, Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars is the planet of change and the planet of action. So Mars actually encourages us to take action in our lives. And so this full moon will be like encouraging you to look at the actions you've taken, what's worked, what hasn't worked, and what actions to take in the future. So remembering that a full moon is about your emotional guidance system. And so you'll be using that emotional guidance, whatever emotions come up for you, will help you to determine the course of action for you to take for the next part of your life. We're in this fresh new energy. We've had this fresh new beginning. We're in cardinal season of Libra. And so there is this opportunity to create something new. We're also moving towards eclipses. Okay, and so these eclipses are going to be really important, especially in 2024, but over the next 2 years. So whatever you choose to do now, or whatever you do in this time with this full moon in Aries, may have that kind of impact. It may actually be a course of action that you follow over the next year. We have the Nine of Coins, the Ace of Cups, and the Ten of Swords. Great, so there is some transitional energy here, transitioning from one situation to the next. And again, like I said, we're looking at the ideal course of action, what's going to be of the most benefit to you. With the Ten of Swords, there is an indicator that you're at the end of an uncomfortable situation. So something coming to an end, Maybe it is something, something that has ended poorly or hasn't been enjoyable to you for a while. The cards are encouraging you to follow your heart, Ace of Cups, to follow your joy and to find, like I said, to find what's going to be the best situation, the best course of action for your authentic self, not for other people, and not to please and impress others or society or to meet certain goals, but to what is going to be the best for you. And your heart knows that better than your mind. Your heart knows that better than anybody else. So it's really important at this time to be following your heart, to be opening your heart, be heart-led, and tap into those heartfelt emotions as you go. Now, this is about you standing on your own 2 feet. That Aries energy is very almost selfish, but in a positive way. So it's just really prioritizing your own personal needs. 9 of Coins is what I'm hearing is really important for you, Panam, to prioritizing yourself, making yourself number one, and meeting your own needs. And that it does involve what your heart needs as well, okay? Because that is the way that you're going to be able to give back to the universe, give back to community, give back to society, give back to your loved ones, is when your heart is overflowing, when your cup is full. So it's really important to prioritize yourself this week, particularly if there's a lot of energy coming up with that moon, if there's a lot of emotion coming up with that moon. If you're really struggling with that moon, it could be an indicator that you haven't been meeting your own needs, or you haven't been following your own heart's desires, following your own path, and that can feel quite painful. It can give this 10 of Swords painful energy. It may be that, with the 10 of Swords, it's like being stabbed in the back, but for what I'm feeling for you is it's like you've stabbed yourself in the back by ignoring or abandoning your own needs. We have the Ace of Coins, the 7 of Swords, and the 10 of Wands. So there may be a prospect for you to do something new, possibly financially, work-related. Ace of Coins, 9 of Coins. Okay, so there could be, this could be to do with business or work. It involves being strategic. 7 of Swords. It involves actually not just following your heart, but also, really thinking about the ideal course of action, really thinking and being strategically choosing what action you are going to take, because there is this heavy burden of responsibility, 10 of Wands. So maybe you are feeling a lot of responsibility towards other people, or maybe you have taken on a lot of responsibility in a situation. It doesn't even have to be work, could be family related, although for many of you it will be work related, okay? Or maybe and you've taken on a lot of responsibility, and there's this need to become more strategic in terms of maybe even delegating some of the work, or streamlining some of the work, or making it more efficient in some way for you, so that you can feel less, it feels like less of a burden. Now, this may be a new project that's coming up that is going to involve a lot of work. And so there's this time, this week is a really good time to think about how you're going to tackle that to the best of your ability to be the most efficient. Alternatively, it is like an older project that is really weighing on you. We have the Page of Coins, the 4 of Coins, and the Star. So your heart is the guidance system, okay? Your heart and your emotions are guiding you. The Star, they're guiding you in the right direction. With the 4 of Coins there is this energy of wanting to keep yourself safe, wanting to protect your heart. If you look here, the unicorn has that coin up against their heart, and in standing on these 2 coins is trying to keep it to themselves, trying to hoard their coins. So there's something within your heart space, okay? This could be material like physical money, but I feel for you it's more something that's coming from the heart space. So maybe it's an emotion, maybe there's something that's feeling like it needs to be expressed, or you're being pressured to express it and you're feeling very protective. You're protecting your heart space, heart energy at this time. I think with the Page of Coins there is more learning to do. So possibly something's in the baby stages, particularly, if this is a project, like a new project, Ace of Coins, and Ace of Cups, it could be something brand new that's still in its infancy and it hasn't quite found its legs, and so you're wanting to protect it, you're wanting to guard it, wanting to keep it safe. And maybe that's the right thing for you to do. Maybe it isn't. The ideal course of action will present itself to you this week, so keeping an eye out for that. With the Page of Coins, there's more to learn, so you're still learning, and maybe that's why you're not ready for this to be revealed this week. You're not ready for other people to see what's in your heart or what you're creating. The Ace of Cups can be very creative as well, so maybe you're creating something and you're wanting to keep it to yourself, and that's okay. That's okay to do that. We've got the Two of Cups, the Ten of Coins, and the Two of Swords. So we go from the Ace of Cups to the Two of Cups. Now, whatever situation has been challenging for you has caused you to feel this sense of being stabbed in the back, that's coming to a close, it's coming to an end. It's actually helped you to realize what's in your heart or what's your desires, okay? It's helped you to line up with these things. It's helped you to decide what prosperity means to you, what satisfaction means to you, what feeling worthy, feeling wealthy, feeling good means to you. So it's helped you to narrow that down. It's helped you to clarify that more. And so that's the silver lining to this situation. You have received a lot out of it. Particularly, we went through the Venus retrograde in August and then the Mercury retrograde in August and September. So we did a lot of deep dive internal work, that really working on who we really are at the core of our being over July, August, September. And so now we're seeing that sort of start to take form in our physical reality. We're seeing the results of the work we've done. We're seeing it all start to really take shape. And this is where this decision lies. You've got the Two of Swords, Two of Cups. There's a decision. There's two components and you're needing to choose that ideal course of action. The moon in Aries, again, like I said, is telling you to follow what's best for you and also to release any emotional blocks that you've got there. A change in the wind. So if there is a new project coming up for you or a new creative inspiration that's coming into your life, I really like that for you, pile number 2, because it is creating change. So it's going to be moving you into a new direction. And that change and new direction is really important right now as we're in Libra season, and then as we move into the eclipses in a couple of weeks. On the 14th we have the solar eclipse. So things are going to change suddenly and dramatically over the next few weeks. And so I really like that for you if you're following your heart's desires, if you're following your emotional guidance system. The fates. So this is maybe something you can't even control. We do have the star here, and maybe that's why you're holding on tightly with that Four of Coins energy. You're trying to protect something, but the fate is stepping in, okay? The cosmos is stepping in and taking and sort of taking control of the situation, but sort of putting you back on track. With that Four of Coins energy, when we get into that protective space, it comes from a lack of trust in our own ability to create, a lack of trust in resources, a lack of trust in infinite flow, in universal flow, in being supported. We start to try and think that we need to protect what we've created already. And that can stifle us. It can really stifle and block us from moving forward. And so the cosmos is stepping in here, is kind of realigning you, and you can trust that these changes that are being made this week are all for the purpose of putting you on the right course of action, putting you on the path that's the right direction for you. You're getting help, a leg up. You're being aided, you're being supported, you're being protected, okay? And so even if this change feels uncomfortable, if something's happening that was unexpected or feels uncomfortable to you, please just trust in the fact that this is a support. This is the cosmos stepping in to support you, like I said, putting you on track, allowing you to realign with your authentic purpose. Sometimes we lose our authentic purpose, particularly when we're trying to please other people, when we're trying to meet the demands of society, of life, of family, or whatever it is. We can lose ourselves and lose our path and lose our direction. And so if that has been the case for you, there's change coming in, there's fate stepping in, you're being given support, you're being pulled out of that situation, realigned. You'll find that you'll find the guidance coming out of your heart space. So focus on how you're feeling within, and focus on making a firm decision about your future and the direction you're going in. Okay, so that is your reading, pile number 2. Thank you for being here with me. I really appreciate you. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. That really helps me. And I look forward to seeing you in the next week's readings. Take care. Hello there, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading for this week. You have chosen the card Be Gentle with Yourself. So this week we are under the influence of the Aries full moon. That full moon energy can be quite uncomfortable at times. So possibly this is a full moon that's going to have a strong impact on you. Now, remembering, as I said in the introduction, that this is kind of is a moon that's involved in the eclipse cycle. So it's not an eclipse itself, but it is involved in this next eclipse cycle that's coming in at the moment. And so there is quite a lot of energy in behind this moon, even though it's not actually an eclipse. Okay, and as we step into eclipse season in the coming weeks, things may become even more turbulent. So if you are experiencing emotional turbulence, if you're experiencing uncomfortable, disharmonious experiences or emotions coming to the surface, this is your reminder to be gentle with yourself. This is a journey. This is something that we all go throughout our lives, and it's a process of undoing and redoing and undoing again. So this is all part of evolution and expansion. We have the Hierophant, Judgment, and the Queen of Wands. So as you are engaging in the moon energy, it is a really beautiful time of reflection, of taking that time out to consider and reflect and judge the place where you've been and what direction you want to go in the future. So with the Judgment card here, really taking that time out and judging yourself in terms of like in reflecting on yourself, but then being aware of the judgments that you're having of yourself. Are they beneficial? Are they kind? Are they gentle? So the cards are encouraging you to be gentle with yourself, which kind of indicates to me that possibly you're not, and you're harshly judging yourself. You're reflecting on the past and you're being overly critical. Criticizing past selves does not benefit you in any way. So criticizing yourself and judging yourself harshly for situations from the past, even if you were wrong, even if those judgments are accurate, it does not help you to move forward. So this is a reminder to take the higher ground, the Hierophant, to look at it from the view of source energy. See this card here, how she's ascending, and there's also on this card here this ladder up into the cosmos. So you can look at it from a higher perspective. You can ascend. This is an opportunity for ascension if you can approach yourself from in the same mental and emotional stance that spirit would as well. Because you're growing, you're evolving, and you're stepping into your own personal power, Queen of Wands, that's the opportunity here for you. And going over the murkiness, going over the past and reflecting on it helps you to expand and helps you to know what direction to move into in the future. It helps to give you power when you're gentle. Okay, so we have Justice, we have the Knight of Cups, and we have the Two of Wands. So it's really important, like I said, to be reflecting on if you're using this moon as a time of introspection, a time of self-reflection, which is a really powerful way to use this moon. If you're doing that, it's important to try and do it through the eyes of source energy, okay? So being honest. Justice card is really about being honest with yourself, being truthful. And so having harsh judgments, having harsh criticism of yourself is not being truthful. It's not being honest. It is just being mean. And so it's time to really open your heart up to yourself, Knight of Cups. Open your heart up to spirit and to see things from that angle. That's going to help you to really see the purpose of this Two of Wands. What's the purpose? What's the vision? What's going on here? And seeing it from the angle of spirit will help for the expansion. See, when we are being critical, we are contracting. We're contracting inwards. We are bringing ourselves in and we are isolating ourselves. We are cutting ourselves off. We are fragmenting ourselves within. That is the opposite to expansion. So if you're here as a co-creator, Queen of Wands, wanting to create a life worth living for yourself, wanting to create heaven on earth for yourself, the way that we do this is through that level of expansion, which comes from learning how to love ourselves, honestly and truthfully loving ourselves. We have the Nine of Cups, the Ace of Swords, and the High Priestess. I think doing this internal reflection is a good idea, like I said, as long as you're doing it from that gentle space, because it will bring clarity. Ace of Swords, it will help you to see things more clearly and help you to create more congruence within your system, is what I'm hearing for you. So like, if you can clean up these harsher judgments, clean up energy that has caused you to move in a direction that does not suit you, in terms of maybe moving away from your desires, Nine of Cups, instead of towards your desires, and you can do that on the internal level, the High Priestess, okay, then you are in a really great position to start manifesting more desire, manifesting more life for yourself that looks the way you want it to look, Nine of Cups, okay? So there's this opportunity to sort of peek beyond the veil. Maybe this comes through your intuition. Maybe you're really heightened, have really heightened intuition at this time. This moon brings through a lot of messages from beyond, okay? Coming through to create more clarity so that you can line up with everything that you want for yourself. We have the Two of Cups, the Empress, and the Six of Cups. I love this Empress and the Queen of Wands, that really creative energy. The Two of Cups is exactly what I was just saying about aligning with your inner being, aligning with source, and utilizing that those messages that come beyond the veil to co-create. The Empress is such a creative energy, so is the Queen of Wands. See, she's literally creating magic in her hand. So this is about creating heaven on earth for yourself, creating abundance, creating overflowing fullness in your life. Okay, maybe it comes from a desire that you've had since childhood, or something that makes you feel the kind of joy and exuberance that a child will feel when they interact with their desires. Okay, that kind of energy is what we're going for here. And so looking at the emotional blocks, what is blocking you emotionally from feeling that level of desire and the level of enthusiasm for life? Thinker, yes. So this is an opportunity, this moon is a really great time to sit and reflect and to think about, the way that you have been engaging with life, the way that you have been engaging with yourself, the way that you have been talking about yourself, and what is your truth? Like, what does it mean to be you? What does it mean to be in alignment with your authentic self, your authentic nature? What does all of that mean? It's a really good time to reflect on that this week. Imagine. So as you're reflecting, as well as you're doing this internal work, this reflection of what it means to be in alignment with your authenticity. Okay, you can start imagining that, you can start visualizing that. Like I said, this is you in this creative space, very, very creative. When we're creating reality for ourselves, we create it twice. First in the imagination, on the inside, and then we manifest it on the outside. So we have to create it in our imagination first. This is what that clarity is about. This is what that cleaning it up is about, that I was talking about. Getting clarity, cleaning up any ways where you've been too harsh on yourself, any ways where you have been fragmenting yourself, have been constricting yourself, avoiding or breaking down the expansion. Okay, this is how we do this. You can clean all of that up, and then you can start to open your imagination to new realms, open your imagination to new levels of creativity. So using your imagination, particularly over the weekend with that full moon energy, really utilize your imagination to create an inner framework of what an authentic life would look like for you, not for other people, not what do you think other people expect of you, not what you want because society tells you should want it, but what it would be like to be completely authentically you every single day. What does your life look like when you are being that? And we have regeneration. So as you're doing this work, as you're doing what we've just talked about, you can actually create, it can actually act as a catalyst to create change, to create a positive shift within yourself, within your creative energy, so that you can regenerate a new situation for yourself, a new life for yourself. This is the next layer, the next step of your evolution. You are breaking down old ways and generating new ways. So being self-generative is probably the key word for you this week with that Aries full moon, all about the self, and you are self-generating the life that you live in. Okay, so when we're looking at co-creating our life, it can be quite challenging to accept that we've created the situation we're in, especially if it's a very uncomfortable situation. And usually you've created that through this being too harsh, being too critical on yourself. So easing up, being gentle, imagining and allowing yourself to imagine what life would be like if it was exactly authentically in alignment with you. And that is the catalyst that helps you to shift, that creates this shift, this regeneration of your energy, so that you can channel your energy in a more creative and expansive way. Okay, so that is your reading for this week. Good luck with this full moon. Remember to be gentle and easy on yourself. Thank you for being here with me. I really do appreciate you, and thank you for subscribing to my channel. And I look forward to seeing you again next week. Take care.